Hi everyone and happy Sunday. I hope everyone is doing okay. So today's video is going to be something that I didn't plan to do, but because this video caught my attention and I decided to share it with you guys. So stay tuned to it. So this young man you see on my video is going viral. He is talking about his dating experiences. He says he's never been attracted to black girls, calls them mean, sassy and rude. He sees white ladies as the beauty standard because for him, everywhere he goes, he just sees them as the most beautiful. And because of a few negative experiences, this guy boxed all black girls in one category. The internet is very much outraged. But before we judge him, before we kind of give him buzz, let's unpack what really happened and what is really happening.
How do I honestly feel about black women? First, I'm going to talk about my childhood and how I viewed black girls. As a little boy, I was never attracted to black girls, and I'd say the reason for this is because I saw white as a beauty standard. Turn on TV, white girls. Go outside, white girls. Go in school, the ones I found attractive, white girls. Why didn't I like black girls as a child? Well, I just saw them more as like closer to family. They're like closer to like me, and that's not who I'm supposed to be attracted to. Looking back subconsciously, that's how I saw it as a kid, but I wouldn't be able to put it into words when I was that age. That's just how it was. When I would have interaction with the black girls, a lot of times they were often rude, mean, sassy, but since I wasn't really trying to get them, I was just kind of like, well, whatever, I guess that's how they are. At that age, it didn't really matter to me at all. I didn't find any black girl attractive until I was about 12, so middle school age. The only reason that this happened was because I started to become pro-black. And when you're pro-black, you know only black men can be with black women and black love, that type of thing. So I was like, okay, so now I have to be with the black girl. So now we're going to get into the dating side of things. I'm not going to go down a whole list of bad experiences. I'm just going to summarize it by saying that I never got anywhere with any black girl. Most I got was like a date with one person or one little thing with one person. And when I'm going through this, I'm thinking to myself, how am I not attracting any black girls when I'm pro-black? I call them queens, I see them as great, and I want them to build and, black love. Why is this not attracting any of them? This is the point where my frustration started to come in, because I'm not just seeing it as I'm just trying to get some black girls. I'm viewing it as we need to come and build together, but none of them are wanting to do that with me. Around the age of 19, I just completely dropped this because it's not getting me anywhere. From then to the present, whenever I try to do anything with the black girl, I'm just like, this is probably not going to go anywhere, and I don't really pursue it, or I half-ass it and it goes nowhere. It's kind of like we just weren't meant to be. If I never became pro-black, I wouldn't like them at any point in my life, most likely. If I'm being completely honest though, there are black women I'm attracted to, literally right now, as of the time I'm making this video. But when I try to pursue it, even slightly, it's kind of like this wasn't meant to happen. I just explained my whole backstory with black women. So now, how do I view them in the present? Well, I'll just say not very positively. So how do I view them just as people? Well, my experience now versus as a kid, a lot of times they're still rude and just terrible people to interact with. That's just what I'm used to experiencing with them on all different levels. No amount of pro-blackness or trying to see their humanity is going to change that. It's just my experience. It is what it is. This video I'm doing is not even an anti-black woman video. This is just my experience with them. It's a negative experience, but it's my experience. I know there's black men out there that have plenty of great experiences with black women on different levels, and good for them. I just can't relate to that. If I had good experiences with them, I could view them as good people that I have a high respect for, but unfortunately, it's the exact opposite.
Hey guys, you have seen what this guy is spewing out of his mouth, and just mere looking at him, you get to see that this guy is going through a whole lot. And to understand this, we first need to separate his personal preference from harmful perception, because that's where his story begins. For me, attraction is personal. Oga, you are free to marry anyone you want. You are free to date anyone you want to date. That's not a problem. The problem here is when a few negative experiences of yours are treated as universal truth. That's where personal frustration meets societal influence, and that's where your story is. And the lens through which he's seeing his experiences, seeing white women as the beauty standard, that is his reality. That is what he grew up with. According to him, He watches TV, he sees white women. He goes out of his environment, he sees white women. And it seems that he was blinded by his own mother, seeing his mother and seeing his own probably sisters, cousins. I know he has one. Look, the society has always told us over and over again that lighter skin is more desirable. When you grow up absorbing this message, according to him, it's easy to start seeing your own community through the same lens. This is not about his dating experience. This is just about self-perception, which was shaped by the society, and also self-hate. And that's seriously, this is what this guy is really living. And most of these people talking bad about black women, talking bad about their own race, saying this is what they prefer. Preference is different. Preference is individual. You want what you want, but hating your own self, hating what you look like, because you are hating somebody who looks like you. That's really being crazy. Really, this is where anger can creep in. Frustration over personal rejection becomes his justification for generalizing an entire group of people. According to him, he got frustrated when black girls didn't respond the way he wanted. Okay, few black girls in your community, few black girls in your environment. And for him, that frustration became his justification of generalizing that all black girls are sassy, rude, and mean. That's a classic pattern. Anger as justification. It's a way of protecting his ego, But the thing is that the moment frustration becomes a stereotype, it starts to hurt more than it protects. And that is exactly why boxing people in one group is very, very dangerous. Have you ever thought if you were the problem? Have you ever asked what is really the problem? Why these people? Because according to you, you have a beauty standard. Then why do you think these people will even care about you? Let's highlight one thing here. Boxing a whole group of people in one category reduces individuality. Every black girl he knows or doesn't gets squeezed into one narrative. Mean, sassy, and rude. All black girls are sassy, mean, and rude. That's unfair. That's inaccurate and very damaging. This could affect self-esteem, dating experiences, and even family relationships. How does he even see his sisters, his cousins, even his mother? This guy is practically hating himself. He is hating on people who look like him. Well, that's the silent, invisible harm that comes from boxing people based on personal disappointment. So let's look at it in a different angle. Let's distinguish his personal experience from stereotype. One bad experience doesn't define a group of people. I mean, that you have an experience with few black girls doesn't mean all black girls are just what you just said. Stereotypes gain power when personal experiences are mistaken for universal truth. His preferences isn't a problem. It's subjective. He can date who he wants to date. He wants who he wants. It's not a problem for anybody. But the problem here is the narrative that he is spreading about black girls. And this is something that has wider consequences. And these consequences ripple into communities, schools, and social spaces. And this is not a good thing, And it doesn't stop there. It continues. Let's talk about how this affects, his family dynamics. How you view your community affects relationship at home. Seriously, if you view your community in a different way, it's really going to affect how you view your people, the people around you. If he applies this same lens to girls in his family, it can influence trust, respect, and closeness. Even if it doesn't outwardly damage relationships, the internalized messages about who is nice enough, who is most beautiful, who is desirable enough, lingers in his head. But Oga, let me ask you seriously, because right now I have to get a little bit sassy. So your mother is not beautiful enough? Okay, I don't want to be sassy. I just wanted you to know that all black girls are not sassy, mean, and rude, just the way you think. And this adds up to what I call the invisible struggle. And this invisible struggle is very real. Many people are going through a whole lot. Navigating attraction, societal messages, personal preferences, personal experience, and even self-perception, seriously, is a very big problem in the society. Colorism is not just external, it is internal. It shapes who we notice, who we date, who we want to be with, and how we value ourselves and others. It is a complex concept. It's human. And it's not about blaming anyone's dating choices. I don't blame this guy's dating preferences. I am just worried about, the forces that are really behind his preferences. So what do we take from all of this? Well, for him, you can date whoever you want to date. That's personal freedom. But when we step back, his story reflects something bigger. Internalized bias, colorism, invisible struggles, and the dangers of boxing people based on personal experiences. It's not about judgment. It's about awareness, understanding, and recognizing the subtle pressure that shape our perception in the society. I'll leave this to you before I go. Black women are diverse, and yet too often they are tied into one category by stereotypes, by societal expectations, by internalized biases. One person's experience does not define a whole community, and one narrative does not capture the truth of millions of lives. So yes, you can date whoever you want because that's a personal freedom, but don't let frustration, anger, or society's narrow standards reduce a whole continent of women to a single story. Recognize the diversity, honor their individuality, and see people for who they really are and not the label society tries to stick on. This has been the Diaspora Seat, and thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, let me know in the comment section below what you think. Give me a like on it and share it with people in your community. Diversity is real. Stereotypes are not. Awareness is everything. Stay healthy, stay beautiful, and I hope to see you guys on my next video. Ciao.